Okay, this one does not have a author's page, or at least not a link to an author's page, but the name is called Purple Cheetah, and they wrote Milaya, the Atomic Child. I just saw that you said something, so let me read that. Over time, I started to read along with you. Hey, I mean, it was a pretty good one. It was a pretty good one. I'm glad that you actually, you know, because that was actually usually the type of SCP you'd be like, okay, this is too long for me, I'm leaving. So, I'm proud of you, bro. Proud of you. You stuck around. You were hooked onto it. Good job. These SCPs have really good name. Yeah, the Atomic Child. This one is a shorter one compared to what we just read. It's like, yeah, this one is a 10-minute read. Object Class Euclid. Special containment procedures. SCP-2192 is to be kept in a concrete chamber lined with lead bricks, at least 10 centimeters in width and coated inside and out with heat-resistant ceramic material. These bricks must be checked weekly for warping and/or melting and replaced accordingly. Any furniture provided for SCP-2192's use must be constructed of heat and flame-resistant materials. The chamber must be fitted with a high-pressure cold water sprinkler system, a gauge for monitoring temperature, and a gauge for monitoring ambient levels of radioactivity. SCP-2192 may be provided toys appropriate for the 5 to 7 year age range if requested, as well as crayons, colored pencils, and paper, a slate, and colored chalk. See Addendums 1 and 1A for entertainment purposes. SCP-2192 is not to be removed from its chamber at any time, and any personnel entering its container must wear a radiation suit at all times. SCP-2192's chamber must be monitored at all times for change in temperature and radiation levels. The sprinkler system must be immediately activated if the ambient temperature inside the chamber rises by more than 10 degrees Celsius. Any materials removed from SCP-2192's chamber must be decontaminated and disposed of. All personnel coming off a shift rotation overseeing SCP-2192 must take the standard physical and psychological evaluation. Potassium iodide tablets will be made available to any staff concerned about exposure to SCP-2192. Is it a really small child, or is he radioactive? Sounds more like it's radioactive because of like whether it has to check for radioactivity, and also potassium iodide tablets. It sounds more like they're radioactive. SCP-2192 is a human child between the ages of 5 and 7, measuring 114 centimeters. That's a tall 7-year-old. I think if you guys want to know how tall 140, what the fuck happened here? 140 centimeters is, that's up here. Although to be fair, yeah, that actually makes sense for a 7-year-old. Yeah, because I'm 183 centimeters, so like I'm 6 foot. So they're here. No, he's tall. He's probably average. I don't remember how tall I was when I was 7, but I feel like 7 is like, you're not even at your growth spurt yet. So I feel like being over a meter tall or 7 years old is pretty good. In height and weighing approximately 20 kilograms, but that's yeah. Due to the extensive tissue damage covering the entirety of. Let me read that again. Due to the extensive tissue damage covering the entirety of SCP-2192's surface area, its sex is not physically apparent. Blood and DNA tests have also proven inconclusive, as well as dangerous due to the object's anomalous qualities. Shit. Oh god, okay. SCP-2192 identifies itself as female in response to the word Milaya, as well as other Russian terms of endearment. SCP-2192 speaks and reads Russian at a level typical of the average native speaker in the 5 to 7 year age range. The temperament of SCP-2192 is typical of a normal child between the ages of 5 and 7, and psychological development appears normal given the circumstances of SCP-2192's containment. SCP-2192 is typically well-behaved, friendly, and empathetic towards staff, and appears to enjoy socializing with anyone entering its chamber, commonly referring to them as friends. This is gonna be a sad one, isn't it? Or at least it's gonna be like one where we just go like, oh, poor child. Oh damn, well she's way bigger than I thought because I thought she was gonna be the size of an atom. No, I think she's radioactive, my man. Although that would also be an interesting SCP, like a child who's like very tiny. 100% of SCP-2192's surface area is covered in what appear to be severe radiation burns. Okay. Causing the complete destruction of 80% or more of the epidermis, severe damage to the underlying dermis, and 5 to 10% exposure and damage to the hypodermis. Due to the resulting nerve damage, these burns do not typically cause SCP-2192 serious pain, although SCP-2192 does commonly express feelings of discomfort. Okay, so she's not in pain, but she is feeling it. She understands that it's not supposed to like be happening. If SCP-2192 does complain of discomfort or pain, common treatments for radiation burns as well as mild sedative may be administered. The burns have not shown any sign of healing since SCP-2192's containment, and first aid seems to have not appreciable effect, although SCP-2192 seems to enjoy the attention. SCP-2192 has not changed in height or weight since its containment still retains the temperament of a child. At this time, it is assumed that SCP-2192's anomalous quality may also have stunted its growth. See Addendum 2. Well, I found 682's a new friend. I finally come up with an SCP concept to write. A child who is 3 inches shorter than usual. than usual. You know, this is weird. This child is like very short. Don't you think it's just horizontally handicapped? No, not clearly an anomalous effect. SCP-2192 is highly radioactive, producing a high enough level of gamma radiation to cause acute illness within 60 minutes of exposure if proper safety procedures are not maintained. The normal internal body temperature of SCP-2192 while resting or in relaxed state is approximately 122 degrees Celsius. But in state of agitation, the object's outer temperature has been recorded at levels exceeding 400 degrees Celsius. Jesus Christ! Imagine you get sick and you walk into the room and you're like, fucking hell! Why is that? You probably couldn't even enter the room because it would just be freaking. Your hazmat suit would just melt to you. The level of radioactive energy emitted by SCP-2192 increases proportionally during moments of physical and emotional distress. This appears to be an automatic response similar to the bodily changes associated with the fight or flight response. I feel bad for the child because she probably never had an actual friend. Because, like, you know how it is. Like, children, if they find, like, depending on where you are, but if they find some sort of something that's not normal, or at least they don't consider normal from their point of view about you, like if you have like a birthmark on your face, some children will like abuse that fact about you. They're like, you look like this. So like, if she wasn't radioactive before when she got those burns, she would have been the butt of the joke at school all the time, and then not only that, but then she would melt the whole school down when she gets angry because, yeah, 400 degrees Celsius is pretty hot. That would give you mega cancer or just fucking. I think, yeah, the heat would kill you, and the radiation would just give you cancer, yeah, or whatever other diseases you get by it. SCP-2192 was first discovered in March of 1990 by Foundation researchers investigating reports of anomalous phenomena in the area surrounding. At the time, SCP-2192 was living alone in the ruins of an abandoned apartment complex in... Oh, that's just sad. Upon first approach, SCP-2192 initially reacted with fear, but very quickly grew accustomed to the researchers and eventually approached and offered them what SCP-2192 referred to as a pretty rock it had found in the ruins, seemingly as a symbol of friendship. Aww. Interviews attempt to establish the origin of SCP-2192 have proven unsuccessful, as SCP-2192 is either unwilling or unable to recount details of its life previous to its discovery in... Further psychological evaluation of SCP-2192 seems to suggest that it is unaware of its harmful effects towards others, and in fact does not understand what radiation is. Oh, that's just mean. Because like, that means they're going around causing issues for people, not aware, and never going to understand that it's them. Doctors feel that SCP-2192 should not be made aware of its full implication of its enormous qualities, as SCP-2192 empathetic temperament suggests that knowing the truth would cause severe psychological trauma and make containment far more difficult. Yeah. If it knew that like it probably never went to school, never like got to be around people because itself is a walking radiation bomb, it would probably freak out. If SCP-2192 asks any questions related to its containment, it is advised that SCP-2192 be led to believe it is being held for medical treatment. And then 1. Crayons are not to be given to SCP-2192. SCP-2192 high body temperature immediately melts crayons upon contact, causing SCP-2192 considerable emotional distress. Oh no. Then she could kill you without knowing. She could kill you, and she herself would not know why. She would understand why you just plop dead in front of her. -1A, papers not be given to SCP-2192 as it represents an unacceptable fire hazard. Addendum 2, on the cold water sprinkler system in SCP-2192's chamber was activated after the temperature inside rose suddenly by more than 20 degrees Celsius. Upon entering the chamber, persons discovered SCP-2192 on the floor of the chamber in obvious distress. SCP-2192 began crying, complaining of severe pain in its legs. A physical examination revealed that several fissures had opened in SCP-2192's flesh, bisecting the back of both thighs and front of the shins, exposing bone. It was discovered that SCP-2192 had grown 3 cm in height, and the loss of elasticity in its flesh caused by its severe burns led to cracks forming in the tissue. A heavy sedative was administered and appears effective as a short-term solution. So she didn't grow slowly 3 centimeters. She instantly grew 3 centimeters. And her body could not keep up with that fact. So it just cracked open. That's why the legs like popped open, because like it's just like stretched out of nowhere. Or she just ages very slowly. I mean, she might be aging slowly, but as it says here, it was discovered then that SCP-2192 had grown 3 centimeters in height, and the loss of elasticity in its flesh caused by its severe burns led to cracks forming in the tissue. So basically because of the radiation burns, her flesh doesn't have elasticity anymore. So when she grew in 3 centimeters, instead of the body stretching with the growth, her skin just kind of just popped open. I think her biology is reacting irregularly to the radiation. That's why she's still alive. Yeah, most likely. Yeah. That's also a thing. For a moment, I thought she just grew 3 centimeters out of nowhere, like in an instant. But I think it makes more sense, like the fact that she was growing over time, but her body, because of how her body is like doesn't work normal, thanks to the radiation, could not keep up with the growth. And just popped open. But she's still alive, as Vinwan said, because a lot of things are in her body are working differently. Poor child. Poor child.